and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Yep, remember, 951-922-3532 is the number you want to call. Call me right now, and I won't answer because I'm on the radio. But who knows? Maybe I will. Anyway, I am very happy to be back. I took a little break last week again because, there's health issues, which Plan A didn't work out real well. So we went back with Plan B, which is just a little more aggressive. And they sent, some stuff inside me. Like, remember that Raquel Welch and all those people, remember when they went inside the body to fix things up? Well, they did that twice, and Monday I need to go back and have them removed. So hopefully it'll all turn out okay this time. But welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET 1490 AM, where we contemplate retirement and how to best retire and stay retired. So please call, email, or visit www.drheckham.com. And for us more long-winded people, www.theeducatedretirementradio.com, because that's what you're listening to right now, the Educated Retirement Radio. Always feel free to email me, bestloantoday@gmail.com. bestloantoday@gmail.com. So be sure to jump over to the YouTube channel. Link about halfway down the first page. There's a lot there, including all of the shows and separate segments of the guests, as well as some of the more interesting short snippets, and subscribe while you're there. There's a lot of really very well professionally written pages and information about the Heckham reverse mortgages and all that kind of good stuff. So don't you think it's about time you learned about it? We've heard about it for years and years. We hear these horrible things from people who know about it. We hear stories. We don't know who to believe. Find out. Knowledge is power. Remember back in 2008 when thousands and thousands of older homeowners lost their homes? If they had a Heckham, they probably would not have lost their home. Same could be said for these times we're going through right now. Isn't it at least time to learn to say, hey, Jay, tell me about this, or anybody else? Call somebody, anybody. Do some research. And when it comes to the Heckham or reverse, know the facts, compare the numbers. It's much too important an issue to ignore, and you certainly don't want to eliminate it based on not fully understanding it. Remember that these kind of programs, it's not a belief system, it's not a religion, it's just math, and the comfort it brings is more than numbers ever could. So with that, why? Because you need to know more about choices you really have and how to protect what you already have. I have a team of experts that can and will help you, so please make use of us. Call me and I can direct you to anyone that you've heard on this show and so many others. And look on the YouTube station because the contact information is always there. Also, I'll shout out to Ron Siegel, who has joined KMET, and I'm on his show quite a bit, usually at least once a month. And I like to think that I'm part of his household board of directors, which is what he coined, and I believe makes a lot of sense. So right now, as you know, a lot of people have a mortgage are asking for forbearance. We talked a little bit about that when we talked about 08 a few minutes ago. But those with the HELOC are seeing those HELOCs frozen and new ones are not even available. The HELOC and other reverse products, the Heckham that is different. Home equity conversion. They are available with or without a line of credit, and they can never be frozen, never canceled. And forbearance is a non-issue, but you can always make payments or interest-only payments of any kind. You know, let's call it what it is, the Intelligent Retirement Forbearance Loan. You can put it in forward, make any payment you are going to, put it in neutral, make interest-only payments, or put it in reverse and use the money for whatever else you think you can use it for. And my day job, by the way, is a loan officer at the Loan Source, NMLS number 384565, and Department of Real Estate, although I don't sell real estate, but I know some good people, and we're going to talk to Valerie today about that. 792630. And as you know, here we believe in challenging the status quo. Families and people need to be active, not reactive. And where is my producer? Today is, man, that's heavy, Watermelon Month. Now, I spent the first 200-300 years of my life not caring too much for watermelon. I have completely changed, especially after being on this, as we just broke the floor, on this hospital diet. I love it. I can't get enough. And more antioxidants than tomatoes, and the rinds have blood-building properties. The seeds are edible, full of iron, zinc, and protein. And the largest, this is not from one of these radiation movies, but the largest non-science fiction movie for a watermelon weighed about what I did before I started losing this weight, 350 pounds. So let's fit in a break, and let Shane, that's my son's name, but hi, Shane. Let Sean take it away. And welcome back here to the Educated Retirement Radio, here on your home planet, 1490 KMET AM, the mighty Met. Remember, www.drheckham, that's drhecm.com. Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. Call me, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233. Just a question, anything. Call me, call anybody. Find out what this is all about. Famous people's birthdays. Today is Donald Sutherland's birthday, who was born or popped into this world in 1935. And now what does he do on TV? He drinks orange juice, I think, and that kind of. I don't know whether it's pulp or no pulp, but he was in he has been, he's still going strong, over 107 films such as JFK, Clute, Dirty Dozen, and I'm going to do a shout out a couple of my absolute favorites that he happened to be in. MASH, for one. That was a Robert Altman masterpiece. And I don't know about you, but I never really got into the TV program MASH because the movie was so great. I don't ever remember them giving Altman a lot of credit for that, but that was great. Now, another one by Nicholas Roeg was called Don't Look Now. And to me, that's a real psychological thriller. I mean, I think it came out around the same time as The Exorcist, so it had no, it got way back seat in the thing. But I really highly, it's with Julie Christie, really, really good and scary also. And done by Nicholas Roeg, who also did The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie. And of course, he, meaning Sutherland, was also in the remake of The Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 1978. Is this that one? Yep, it is. Now, personally, I like the original one. I think the original one's really cool. But this was good too. Then there was, Jeff Goldblum. I think they've done at least 4 or 5 of them since the thing. But as a child, as an urchin, Sutherland suffered hepatitis, rheumatic fever, and polio. And his first job was as a radio correspondent, just kind of like me. I am a radio correspondent now for a local radio station in St. John, New Brunswick, and eventually graduated in drama and won a Lifetime Achievement Oscar in 2018. Now, his son, Kiefer, of course, was in a whole lot of movies of his own, but one a real standout, and again, Dark City. Did you see Dark City, Sean?
That does not sound familiar, no.
I'm going to highly recommend Dark City from Alex Proyas. Roger Ebert named it the best film of the year of 1998. Just a total standout, but so be it. Look it up. Earl Stanley Gardner also popped out of this world, or into this world, in 1889, and he left in 1970. So he was an American lawyer. I mean, he was a real lawyer. He didn't just write Perry Mason. And author of true crime, I don't know about true, but crime, best known for the Perry Mason courtroom dramas. And as a trial lawyer, he defended poor people and immigrants from his offices in Ventura, California. Excuse me. There's still a plaque on the building right there in downtown Ventura. And if you haven't been to downtown Ventura in quite a while, it's worth a trip. You can take the train right there, walk up a couple of blocks, really neat places. Lots and lots of really interesting things. And where's that place we really like? Paradise Bakery, right? That's, I think, my wife's favorite grilled cheese sandwich is Paradise Bakery right there on the main drag. But Earl Stanley Gardner founded something called the Court of the Last Resort, dedicated to people who were unfairly imprisoned. So he really helped a lot of people and apparently made his money not from lawyering, but from Perry Masoning. And of course, in his spare time, he wrote Pulp Fiction. And Perry Mason ran for 80 novels. He wrote 80 Perry Mason novels using two fingers on a typewriter. And the name Perry Mason came up from one of the first pulp magazines he was writing for. The publisher's name was Perry Mason. And let me ask you a question here, Sean, if you're listening. Do you know if Perry Mason ever lost a case?
I believe he did, didn't he?
He did lose one, only one.
Yeah.
And that was the case of the witless witness. And speaking of witless here, no. So remember, in this time that the black swan is out there, and you know exactly what I mean, okay? If you do not realize how much more you can be protected, call. With a retirement mortgage, whether you're retired or more, call me. Create those great memories now. And on that note, let's just take a little slip over and take a break so we can get back. We've got a good guest that's going to talk about everything real estate, so that we're going to give some more time for that. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you soon. Hey, if that was Ron Siegel, I like Ron too. Good friend of mine. Listen to his show. Anyway, welcome back. 1490 AM. This is the Educated Retirement Radio. And, you know, with this uncertainty, we need to stabilize our environment, meaning it's time to empower ourselves, our retirement for now, for the future, for all the time. Uncertainty needs to be kicked out, peace of mind, and something you can count on always being there for you. That is what needs to be in. Remember that a HECM, home equity conversion, means you are not only giving your liquidity, You are only giving your equity liquidity. Tripped on myself, but it's less. I can't trip on myself as easily as I used to when I was 50 pounds heavier. What I'm really trying to say there is if you do get like a reverse mortgage, you're not necessarily taking money out. You're making it liquid so that you may be able to take it out on those bad years or those years when you need it and then be able to put it on back. Now, a couple of things happened on this day in history. One is the televised grand opening of Disneyland in 1955. And the other, we've talked about movies a lot on this show. North by Northwest premiered on this day in 1959. But, and I hope Chris Bissonette is watching. This segment is dedicated to Chris. This is, what is this again?
Well, on the 20th is
this is
anniversary of the moon.
Oh, let me get. America salutes first men on the moon, voyage to the moon. Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins, July 20th. So what do you think of that? That's pretty cool, huh? Now, Sean, I was going to ask you where you were, but maybe I shouldn't. Do most people remember where they were when they were watching the moon landing?
1969. I was about 2 weeks away from being born.
So you're a little fuzzy on that?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I was in a city in the south part of France on the Mediterranean called Perpignan in a bar, but I do remember it specifically. So we have a report from NASA Nelly again about the specifics of what happened. Well, there's the Stanley Kubrick specific, but then this is the NASA Nelly specific of what happened. So
now we are approaching the anniversary of the moon landing. Remember that? American astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins left the Earth on Apollo's 11 Command Module Columbia on July 16, 1969, headed to the moon. About 3 days later, on July 20th, Armstrong and Aldrin left that craft and onto the lunar module, the Eagle, and landed on the moon's surface while Collins continued to fly alone in the lunar orbit. He was dubbed as the loneliest man in the world, or should we say, out of this world. 6 hours and 39 minutes after landing, Armstrong stepped onto the surface with Aldrin joining him 19 minutes later. Over 600 million people all over the world watched the televised event. They spent a little over 21 hours on the moon before lifting off to rejoin Columbia. Now, did you know that the Krispy Kreme served their donuts at the launch at Kennedy Space Center? Did you know that the first moon meal was bacon and coffee? Did you know that the flag they put on the moon was ordered from Sears? And also, the astronauts collected 47 pounds of moon material on their first trip.
And when they come back?
A couple of days later.
Oh. Oh, okay.
We've got this too.
Well, yeah, and in case you didn't know, there was absolute proof of landing on the moon.
Here's a picture.
There's a picture. And it's an album, actually. It's a picture album. So there. I don't know that I have ever played this album, but I think it's kind of cool that we found it. And one thing, I forgot your name again. NASA Nelly. You were talking about Michael Collins,
yes.
And that, you might want to say something about him.
Right.
That he was not really forgotten, but he was the guy that, rolled around by himself while everybody else was getting the notoriety.
But he was dubbed as the loneliest man in the world at that time. But he said that's not true.
No, I would have liked to have been up there. But you know what? You know how many years ago that was? I would have thought we would have been vacationing on Mars by now. Don't you, Sean? I mean, look at all this time that's gone by. So, I don't know. We'll get into it. That has more to do with real estate. And
It does make you wonder why we haven't at least gotten back to the moon.
I know. Well, maybe those books. Remember, I said somebody else is there already. Who knows? But that has to do with real estate, and we're going to talk with real estate with Valerie Vandezilver, and maybe we'll get into talking to her about buying land and vacation land on the moon. So get your pens and paper together to get ready to write down these moon landing vacation spots. And until then, we'll see you back in just a couple minutes. Take care and hang on.